Hello everyone, I'm Chris Yao, editor of the Trustful Tribune. I'm here with Tawan McCarty, who is the founder of the Well House. They are a home, a halfway home?
Well, shelter and transitional living facility.
Okay, for sex trafficking victims. So Tawan is here to tell us a little bit about the Well House, about her story, and about an upcoming event here in Trustville that she will be hosting at the Trustville Civic Center. So Tawan, tell us a little bit about, first, what the Well House is and why you founded it.
The Well House, well, we're different than other ministries or agencies. We're a faith-based, Christ-centered, strictly for 18 and over women. We have helped some juveniles, but we're for housing, it's strictly 18 and over that have been trafficked. When I first founded the Well House, my intention was just to help the women in Birmingham because there's a lot of women in Birmingham that need help. However, the very first rescue, which is about to be our anniversary on January 28th, it'll be our 5-year anniversary, I was out of Florida, which was really astounding to me because my goal was just Birmingham. You know, when God gives you a vision, you just kind of go with it. And so, but we've rescued from Miami, Florida to Washington State. There's only about 300 beds in the United States for women victims of trafficking, and we've got 24 of them and soon to expand in the next week or two for even a less secure, a less restrictive transitional home. So we've got 3 programs. We have our shelter, which is 30 to 45 days. It's kind of like a respite and an introduction to Jesus. She gets everything she needs when she walks in the door, brand new everything. Pillowcases, pillows, socks, shoes, sheets, towel. Just like if your house were to burn down, what would you need? That's what she gets when she walks in the door. And that gives her time to just have to get some rest. Meet with our social worker, meet with our counselor, meet with Doc Julie, who is our clinical director, just to assess her needs because everyone is different. And then our next program is called Next Steps to Freedom. And it's a longer term. We say up to 2 years, but we've got some ladies who have been with us over 2 years. And so it's okay if they don't have anywhere to go. And what we're about to open is a different transitional home. So they'll still have services and still have some oversight, but it's kind of like they'll be living on their own in roommate situation with other ladies. So we're really excited about that.
The Well House was founded for sex trafficking victims because you yourself was a victim of sex trafficking.
I was a victim of trafficking. I didn't even know I was a victim until I opened Well House.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
Because when you opened the Well House, you were just trying to find a way to help people who were in your situation.
Girls who have been prostituted, yes.
And tell us a little bit about your story. And I know it started when you were very young. Your story starts when you were young. Tell us a little bit about that and kind of how you went from a 12-year-old girl who didn't understand what happened to where you are now.
I can answer that in one word, God.
That's a great answer.
That's the one word I can answer. But of course it took years. I'm 45 now, so it was a long process. But I started running away at 12. There's a couple of things when I do speaking engagements or trying to raise awareness that I want to make sure people understand that prostitution is never a choice, strip clubs are never a choice, and pornography is never a choice. You know, I've never met anyone, and I do ask this when I go to speaking engagements or training events. Did you have an epiphany on your 18th birthday? Like you were financially secure, emotionally stable, and spiritually mature? No one does. I mean, it hasn't happened, but all of a sudden it's her fault because she turned 18. And so the human trafficking battle that we're having now and bringing awareness is the same one that happened in domestic violence 35 years ago. She married him, why don't she just leave? Well, it's not that simple to just leave. I have suffered from Stockholm Syndrome since I was a child and a PTSD worse than a Vietnam veteran. So it's not just simply leaving. I met my first pimp when I was 15 and I knew he was a pimp. There was no other choice. I had been running away for years, for the past 3 years, from 12 to 15. A judge had told me at 14 years old that I was incorrigible, and I asked him what was that, and he said, "There's no hope for you." Social workers weren't helping me. They were actually blaming me and locking me up in juvenile jail. Foster parents didn't want me because I was a flight risk, and I actually heard a foster mother tell one of my social workers, "I won't take her in my home because she won't stay long enough for me to even attempt to love her." So no one wanted me, and everyone had failed me. And my father was in and out of prison, and my home with my mother wasn't the healthiest in the world. And no one was looking at what was going on behind the scenes. They were just looking at my behavior. And so when I met that pimp, there was no other option. I mean, where was I going? What else was there? I mean, I didn't have a skill set at 15, you know, and it's not what people think. It's not Taken. It's not that movie. That's about 1%. You know, there's a reformed pimp that's actually found Jesus, and he's made what I call a beautifully horrific quote. And it's beautiful because it brings awareness, but it's horrific with what he says. But he says that I could walk into any middle or high school event and point out 5 to 10 girls that would leave with me willingly within 30 minutes. It's not what we think it is. It's coercion, it's manipulation, it's preying on insecurities and vulnerable children. And I've never met a woman, and I've rescued as old as 59, that it started as an adult. Never.
Sex trafficking is a $150 billion industry.
Yes.
And Birmingham is one of the major hubs,
yes,
from what we understand. How has that helped the Well House, I guess, continue their ministry with, I know that you've rescued nationwide, but Birmingham is a very important part. So your being in this area, how important is it for you to be close to a situation or to a major trafficking?
Oh, it's very important. I stepped down as executive director of the Well House in 2014. And since then, what I've been doing is primarily raising awareness, media events like this, speaking engagements. And I'm also working on the side with law enforcement helping juveniles. So it's very important because, I mean, I'll get phone calls all the time. Actually, this past weekend, I was helping with a 14, 15, and 16-year-old. And it was information we got from a 19-year-old. So it was, I mean, it's very important because, and I think it's really, it's an honor to be in Birmingham, number one. And it's also an honor to be able to see that for 2 years I was called crazy. If you think you can make a difference. And my response always was, if I could help one, then I've made a difference, and that's all that matters. But because of that drive that God gave me, I've been able to help many more, and now people are actually listening and understanding. I mean, just like here, being here and doing this, and the event that we have coming up, for other people to understand that it's happening right in our backyard. And so it's really important to be in Birmingham.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about that event. On the 21st of January, Tawan will be speaking at the Trussville Civic Center. She will be doing a question and answer session.
Afterwards, yes.
Afterwards, after I assume your typical speaking engagement, and then a question and answer. When does that start, and how can people attend?
Well, it's a free event, so that's really big. And actually, we're going to have a special guest, Lisa Roxanne with Roxanne and Chris will be there introducing me, and she'll be talking about special ops. And special ops is what we do in the streets every Monday. We have a group that goes out into the streets of Birmingham to reach the girls. And after that, I will do a presentation, give some testimony and some tips about trafficking. I'm praying that youth, mothers, fathers, we want everyone to come out, as many law enforcement, social workers, anyone that has an interest and want to learn. And then again, afterwards, we'll have the question and answer. But the doors open at 6. The event starts at 6:30, so we'll have a little meet and mingle for 30 minutes, and then we'll do an hour presentation, and then 30 minutes for question and answers. And it's at the Trussville Civic Center, and they have donated the facility, so we didn't have to pay for it. So it's really been just a huge blessing to be able to do this.
Another way that people can help the Well House is you guys are looking to have a car tag made.
Yes.
An actual car tag that people can put on their cars, and it will even have the helpline on it.
Yes, we have actually been approved for a car tag. We need 1,000 people to pre-order in order for them to go in production. We're nowhere close to that. We need all the help we can get. And it's even if you just got your tag renewed, this is not you having to spend money now. This is just you saying that when I get my next tag, I will commit to buying this tag. And it's $50. And the good thing about that is $42.50 of it comes back to us. So the state's not even keeping any money, and it has our logo on it, and it also has our crisis line. And so you never know who would see that tag and what girl would see that and go, oh my gosh, I've heard about the Well House, and there's the number, and be able to get some help.
Fantastic. You've done a fantastic job, and this organization is something that we've covered before with a clothing drive recently that Trussville came out and supported in full force, and it was really good for the girls to have some warm clothes. And this is an organization that has helped so many people, and we appreciate your time, appreciate you being here, thank you so much. Again, January 21st, 6 p.m., Trussville Civic Center. Tawan McCarty will be doing a presentation and a question and answer session afterwards. So make sure that you make plans to attend. Anyone is welcome to attend.
Yes, thank you.
Tawana, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.